any of that from. But he's an entrepreneur, a good friend, as solid as it can be. Here is Mr. Jon Wagar.
Well, good morning. My name is Jon Wagar, and I'm from Valley City. Art stole some of my thunder. He talked about me, and I was going to talk about me, so maybe we'll change that.
You have to take the microphone and hold it right up to your face.
Thank you. I'll duly noted. Is that better? Okay. Good morning. My name is Jon Wagar. I'm from Valley City, and I'm really honored to have been invited to speak to you this morning. Art, thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for being here. I'm impressed. This is a small town, and you get a great turnout for this event, and that's really, really critical, I think, in the well-being of military veterans and their families. So congratulations on the turnout here. When I graduated from high school in 1972, I didn't have the money to go to auto body school at Wahpeton Science, which was at the time what I thought I wanted to do. I had no money. My folks couldn't afford to send me to college. Thank God we didn't know about student loans, or I'd probably just now be getting them paid off. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. As we approached graduation, one of my friends said that he had enlisted in the Navy a few days earlier, and that they were going to teach him a marketable skill, send him to wonderful exotic locations around the globe, and then turn him loose with a generous GI Bill about 4 years down the road, so he could use that money to go to college. That sounded pretty good to me. So after school one day, he took me down to the basement of the post office in Valley City, where the military recruiters had their offices, so that I could talk to a recruiter. And the only recruiter in the office that day was an Army recruiter, and he had a very, very persuasive pitch. So within a few months, I was learning to march in a straight line at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Then I was off to electronics school in Alabama. And then it was off to South Korea, where I repaired Hawk missiles at a place called Camp Humphreys. While others were slogging through the rice paddies of Vietnam, I was working the night shift in an air-conditioned shop, fine-tuning electronics guidance packages for Hawk surface-to-air missiles. At no time during my service did I ever feel threatened. Never was I issued a weapon. And at no time did anybody ever shoot at me. When I got out of the Army, I enrolled at Valley City State College. I wasn't going to waste 4 years of GI Bill on a 2-year auto body education. We're frugal people. I joined the Vets Club. There were a lot of guys coming back from Vietnam at that time, so we had a big club. And I got on with my life. Over the years, I began to experience some discomfort when veterans would be asked to stand and be recognized. It happened fairly often, sometimes in church on Veterans Day or at a political event, one night at the flag lowering ceremony at Mount Rushmore. I would proudly stand and accept the applause that was offered, but in the back of my mind I felt like a fraud. There were others standing near me who had literally lived through hell on earth. They were physically and psychologically scarred for life. Well, my time in the service was spent doing a cushy job in an air-conditioned office. And then I think about all of those that didn't even make it home. It's often said of military veterans that all gave some gave all. Today is Memorial Day. A day set aside to remember, to give thanks for, and to honor those who gave all. Those are the men and women who died in the line of duty, fighting to preserve the freedoms and values that we in America hold dear. Those soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines left home, most as teenagers. They risked their futures, they risked their God-given potential, they risked their very lives, and ultimately lost those lives those futures and that God-given potential in the defense of this great nation. Their families were forever changed. Mothers and fathers devastated. Wives and children left without husbands and fathers. All so that we could continue to freely pursue our American dream. It's a really solemn thought that a 19-year-old kid that I never met gave his life so that I could peacefully pursue a career, make a good living, build a home, travel, and complain about getting old. How do we ever adequately say thank you for that? I don't have the answer to that question, but I do have some thoughts, and I guess I'll share 4 of them with you. 1, we need to speak up. Those of us who came home from our military experience need to speak for those who didn't. Events like this are a great start. And if you served in the military, how about sharing that experience with the school kids in your community or at your local service clubs? Surely the Lions Club is looking for a speaker every week. Go share your story and encourage your veteran friends to do the same. Number 2, we need to encourage our public schools to implement curriculum with an emphasis on patriotism and that teaches the truth of America's greatness. This country did not become the economic powerhouse of the world by accident. It did not become the shining city on a hill by accident. The United States of America did not become the destination for those huddled masses yearning to be free by accident. The founding fathers of this nation understood that capitalism, the right to own private property, the freedom to speak freely, to worship as you see fit, and the opportunity to participate in self-governance would unleash the power of human potential like never before. And did it ever? As one of the younger nations on the planet, America became the envy of the world as it became the economic, military, and moral powerhouse of the world. President Dwight Eisenhower, a 5-star general, once said, quote, whatever America hopes to bring to pass in the world must first come to pass in the heart of America. For history does not long entrust the care of freedom to the weak or the timid. A people that values its privileges above its principles soon loses both, end quote. If we take our hard-fought freedoms for granted and fail to educate those coming behind us, we do so at America's peril. And we will be responsible for having wasted the sacrifice of those who died to build and maintain American opportunity and freedom. Let's make sure our children and our grandchildren learn the truth of America's greatness. Number 3, study the issues that are important to you and listen to both sides of every argument. Make informed decisions and support and vote for candidates that share your views on important issues. An informed voter is a rare commodity these days, as evidenced by the current deluge of primary election advertising. The companies running these personal attack campaigns that are currently tying up our airways understand that the average voter is far more interested in personality than in policy. Don't let that be you. The future of our state and nation depend upon you being involved in your own self-governance. Ultimately, the people you elect and the policies that you support determine if, when, and why we go to war. And number 4, support those who support our veterans and our Gold Star families. There are dozens of worthy organizations that do really good work on behalf of those people. Consider regular donations, if you can, to organizations such as the DAV, Tunnels to Towers, the Gary Sinise Foundation, the Wounded Warrior Project, and there are many, many more. Maybe consider a Memorial Day fund drive in your town or your county. Maybe make it a competition with a nearby town or county. Have some fun with it. And remember, many hands make light work. A small town can make a huge difference in the lives of those left behind and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice at the same time. I will always be a little embarrassed to stand with those who gave so much more than I did. And by the way, I'm not alone in that. Many of my veteran friends tell me they feel the same way when asked to stand and be recognized. Veterans, be rightfully proud of your military service. You once raised your right hand and pledged your future, your God-given potential, and your very life to defend these United States and its values. Be grateful you came home. Be grateful you are able to live your version of the American dream, and express that gratitude by continuing to serve, by serving your community and doing what you can for those who came home physically and emotionally wounded. And never, never forget those who gave all. Thank you.